now that I've shared that and that I've had a moment to calm down, let me officially welcome you to the Dead by Daylight 6th anniversary celebration. We've got an amazing show for you today. We have the whole team ready to share some of the exciting stuff coming. We've got a few surprises in store. We hope you're going to have a good time. Now, last year, our 5th anniversary was all about looking back at the 5 years before. It was a trip down memory lane, and I had a good time for one. Since then, we've hit 50 million players in Dead by Daylight. That's crazy. We announced a board game that was funded in under 1 day on Kickstarter. That was an amazing job by our friends at Level 99. We've also consistently stayed within the 20 top games streamed on Twitch. All of that, and with our next chapter, we're going to now be at 59 characters in Dead by Daylight. But today, it's not about looking back. Today is about looking at the future. We couldn't be happier to have 50 million of you out there playing the game with us. And while there's still a ton of stuff to do, we want to focus on the things that are going to make their way into the game next year. In the past,
underscore Dutch eardex 200
and to share our ambitions. And we
Thank you, dude. Appreciate
big.
it, man.
It's our job to do so.
I'm going to turn that off for
Once
now.
in a while, these dreams ended up being bigger
Thanks,
than
dude.
what we were able to deliver. And we don't want to do that today. Today, our goal is to talk about what is actually going to happen within the next year and to give you precise timelines of when you can expect those changes. We're humbled by your passion and your support. Thank you so much for taking this trip with us through the last 6 years. And we have quite a lot more for you. Oh, and if you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube, you can actually play Director of Broadcast by voting in the chat and help us figure out which segments are going to come in what order. And speaking of which, here's a list of everything that we have in store for you today.
Oh, here we go.
Like I said, we want you to be in control of what we talk about next. You know what? Let's try it right now. Which one of these would you prefer to have? A, some free stuff. B,
what the hell is going on?
Really nice.
Just do the show. just do it. There's a boo. No, Ginger. God. Bloody Ginger. She's on it, isn't she? How about we just do the show? Don't get me wrong, by the way, guys, I just want to say, awesome so far, yeah? I think we can all pretty much agree that this is pretty good so far. We've got Funko Pops confirmed. While this is happening, I'm gonna... She loves those totems, man. Ooh, blood points.
Thank you so much for joining us today in the celebration of Dead by Daylight 6th anniversary. I'm Stéphane Beauchamp, Senior Producer on the project, and I'm joined by Justin Brown, Senior Product Manager on the project. In today's panel, we will have a look at the upcoming content for next year, so Dead by Daylight 7 year, the planned chapters, as well as our 4 main pillars for the game. Before we dive into that, however, this is a really good opportunity to look at our accomplishments from last year and talk a bit more about what we're particularly proud of or excited or happy that was released over the last year. For me, I'm always extremely impressed by the quality of our original content, and the Portrait of Murder chapter was another one that really left a mark on me. But that being said, Year 6 was an amazing year when it comes to licensed content, with the addition of Resident Evil, Hellraiser chapter, as well as Ringu, 3 classic cult horror icons into our game, and it really warms my heart to see all of those different characters come together in the one and the same game. Is there anything you're particularly proud of that we did last year?
Yeah, of course. The first thing that comes to mind is the updated onboarding and tutorial. Seeing that come out to such a positive reaction within our community was really amazing, really rewarding for the team that worked so hard on those features. The next would be the 2 brand new maps we introduced last year. It had been a long time since we introduced new maps, and the team totally delivered on those maps, visually stunning. And that's not to mention the unbelievable job they did on the Haddonfield rework, which recently released.
RBD, yeah.
And last but not least, it would be the Snowman event. All of the hilarious memes, movies, memories that were shared in that sort of holiday season was unbelievably amazing. It's something I hope we can recreate again this year. Now, I'd like to take this moment just to mention that when we develop our roadmap, we always aim at delivering the most quality as we possibly can for you, our players. However, as it is a live tool, we are constantly having to update it due to urgent issues or new opportunities that arise throughout the year. As such, there were a few features we mentioned during last year's anniversary stream that still have not made their way into the game. Fear not, we will be talking about most of those features later today. Now, when we talk about what's coming up in the next year, first, I'll tell you some of the things we know we can expect throughout this next year.
Okay.
There will be 4 new chapters, which means 4 new killers and their survivor counterparts, of course. In addition to that, there will be 4 tomes in the archives, diving deeper into our character's lore. And with the narrative direction around the Observer's Tower going in a new direction, we're all super excited to watch that unfold.
What is this all about? We'll learn more over the coming year. It's really exciting.
How about we know now?
Been with us over the past year, the 4 pillars will probably be known to you all. They're really things we have continuously worked upon over the last 6 years of the game. So our 4 pillars composing the
Just tell
roadmap for
us.
this year are game health.
Oh, this is the
quality
same
of
as
life
last
updates,
year,
web design,
guys.
as well as our events. You want to give us a bit more info about the
Game health. Yeah, sure.
What's
I
the
will. I
date?
would love to, Stefan. When we talk about game health, there are some aspects of game health that
It's
will
just a
always be
new
ongoing
picture.
priorities for us, such as security improvements and game performance optimizations. But this year, we're putting an added focus on matchmaking. We want to improve the matchmake wait times.
We saw
as
what
much
happened
as
this
we
year with
can,
that, guys.
in addition to accounting for the various play styles we see throughout our community and rewarding them as such. When we talk about matchmaking, though, it's also very much a quality of life topic, which segues very well into our second pillar.
It is an amazing segue, as if it was planned all along. You're a natural at that. Talking more about quality of life improvements and updates, you did talk about the roadmap and how we continuously shift things around and such. We use a lot of the feedback from the community to feed into that. And as such, CSAT surveys are a really important part for that, forums, social networks, etc., etc. When we did announce the Autobahn feature during last year's anniversary, it was met with a lot of mixed feelings from the community. And as such, we really held off a bit to make sure we were doing this in the best way possible. We know toxicity as well as cheating is something that has to continuously be looked at and addressed in the game to keep the game as safe as possible. And as such, Autobahn and improvements to those systems is an important part for us that we're going to keep looking at this year, but we want to make sure we do it in the best way possible. To dive a bit more into quality of life updates, we'll have Justin Banks and Aurélie Géraud talk a bit more about that in a future panel today, which I'm really looking forward to. But for now, is there anything you want to share with us about life design?
As a live game, constant iterations in our design and live balance updates are critical to keeping the game feeling fun, fresh, and exciting for our players. In addition to that, players' behaviors are constantly evolving, and we need to adapt to accommodate those new behaviors all the time. Matt Spriggins will be up shortly to talk more about the huge updates that we have coming and planned for this year in regarding live balance.
And huge is not an understatement.
Not an understatement at all.
Yeah.
But
Stop
one
selling
piece
it
of
and
news
show
we're
us.
Happy to break right now is that we're actively working on a major rework of the Raccoon City Police Department map that we released last year during the Resident Evil chapter. We can expect to see that sometime this fall, but we will keep you updated as we near closer to the final release date.
I'm very much looking forward to playing it. It's often been a difficult map to navigate and to play for players, and I'm really looking forward to see how it can actually.
That's
be
a big
brought up
win,
to
guys.
the standards
Doing
that we have
nice in the
today, and
chat.
I'm
Come on,
looking
spam the shit out of that.
with that said, I'll jump into the events, something that really is an important aspect of the game. It allows us to move the game in a direction that's a little bit farther off the beaten path, something that's not necessarily which you'd expect.
That's
from
really
Dead by
good.
Daylight, but do that as a time-based thing allows us to really do something completely crazy sometimes and such. This is really an opportunity for us to get communities together and to generate moments you're never going to forget. Always think back of that game you played of Dead by Daylight during that specific moment of the year. As we've always done over the last few years, we'll have 4 main moments in the year that we're going to celebrate through events, which are going to be our anniversary period coming up in a few weeks from now, the Halloween period, the winter period, as well as the Lunar New Year period. These 4 events are really going to be the main ones for the year, but our cornerstone events are going to be Halloween and anniversary, since they're such big, important moments for the game. On top of those, we're also going to try and do more live activations, such as a login bonuses, Blood Rush that you're all familiar with, and boosted Rift Fragments collection, so that there's a reason for everyone to come back to the game and be more excited about playing Dead by Daylight more often and be happy about the rewards they're getting through doing that. So, really looking forward to this year. It's really been an amazing one for us, and thank you so much, especially for the continued support throughout those 6 years. Thank you, everyone.